One of the most common questions that I would often encounter, especially for those who are still new in web development, is how to accept um, data from HTML form to, let's say, for example, PHP or maybe Python. So, um, in order for us to do this, Python's approach is a little bit more complicated compared to that of PHP or even in ASP. Okay, so for uh, today, by the way, I'll be showing you guys how to accept HTTP request from HTML form to Python. This is just actually a very simple exercise where we're just going to output what is entered in our HTML form. So basically, I created already a folder called HTTP request because this is where I'll be storing our files. And if I were to open, I have two files actually. So I have our my HTML file, and I also have here my Python file. So let me just try to open my HTML file. So this is basically my HTML file. So let me just try to expand. Let me just try to explain to you line by line. So we have here doc type HTML, specify the language. This is the usual HTML template. Now we have here form name, then search Python request that by which will be the file that will be processing the input from our form. Then we have also our method. Now we will be tackling only two methods. Okay, so the first one is post, which is this one, and I'll also be showing you later how to use get. And then of course we have our first name. Then we have our input type submit. Okay, so this is our submit button. Now for our Python file, okay, we have here. I created also a Python file called Python underscore request to show you how the request will be processed. Now, since I'm basically on a Windows machine, I specified the directory of my Python interpreter, which is under C colon python.exe. So this is my Python executable. Notice also that I added here the header. Now, basically for the header, this is needed if you wanted to output it on an HTML on a web browser. Okay, so we need to add this line if we were to output this one on our web browser. Then we have here CGI. CGI basically is a built-in module of Python. So we have, if it's not built in, you can just actually install it using PyCharm if you're using PyCharm, or otherwise you can use pip. Okay, so I won't be showing you guys how to install pip, how to install CGI using pip. Okay, so because when I tried it out, this one is already comes pre-installed in your Python. Okay, so once you download Python, automatically CGI module is already installed. Okay, so then we also have here form. It's also CGI that field storage. So basically, field storage is a library of or if a method of CGI. So CGI that field storage, we try to assign it on a variable called form. We try to rename it as form. Now, in order for us to get the value, we use this one form that get value. Then this is our form name. So if we were to refer this one back to our index.html, we have our first name. Then we have our first name as well here. Then we tried to create another variable, use first name, okay, to store the value, whatever value we try to input on our first name, okay, on our form. Now, basically for this one, if you're using, by the way, PHP, we can use dollar underscore post, then the form name. Since we're dealing with Python, we need to get this one, form that get value. This one actually checks if the value is empty or not. So if first name, then print my name is first name. This is just a simple string concatenation in Python. Then otherwise, what is my name again? Then I just try to output this one. So let me just try to show you the output mm, of this particular script. Okay, so we already have it here. Okay, so let's say for example, first name, so to call this one Michael, then submit. Okay, so notice by the way that we have here, my name is Michael. Let's try to click back, then try to add another one, Scotty. Submit again, then we have here the name Scotty. Okay, notice by the way that this is actually using post request. But let's say, for example, we wanted to use get. Okay, let's try to use get. Now, basically, what we need to do is just change this one to get. Okay, so to go back to our Python file, so to click back. This is just actually bare bones um, example. So, notice by the way that, okay, let me just try to show you later why I keep on saying notice by the way. So we have here first name. So this time we're using get method. So to reload get method. So to go back to this one. Dennis, submit. Okay. So we have here Dennis. Okay. So if we're going to look at on our address bar, we can actually see the, okay, just click back. We can actually see the form name, which is a first name, equals to Dennis. Okay, so that's why we have here Dennis. So it will actually output uh, the value of our form. Okay. In our case right now, we have first name. Okay, so but let's try to go back. Reload, Control F5 to clear. Okay, so I have to change this one again to post. Reload again. Okay, notice by the way that we have no values on our address bar. So say to call this one Ron. Submit. Okay. Now that's the thing about using post. So we cannot actually see in our address bar what is um, being processed. Okay. So that's the main difference between post and get. Basically, for post, you cannot see the data on your address bar, whereas when you talk about get, we can actually see the data on our address bar. So that's how you would actually get the value um, in Python. Okay. You can use either post or get, and basically you just have to use the CGI module in Python. If you find the contents of this blog useful or interesting, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. And if you wanted to be notified every time a new video is uploaded, don't forget to hit the bell notification button. Thanks.